Well, look at that, huh? It's recording. Inception. Bum 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 da da way. Troubles will be miles away. Na 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 na. It's Christmas time. Where's my sister to be singing along with me? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. You get it.
Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem.
I'm actually kind of really looking forward to the nuances of things that happen in doing something over and over again in the world of YouTube. Intros, outros, sayings, kind of the quirks of people. So I'm looking forward to what that ends up becoming. One of my for cinematography, for that kind of stuff, one of the guys I really enjoy following, he always says, "What's up, everybody?" And it's the silliest, it's so silly. But you become so, it's the reason why jingles work. Da 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 da. Exactly. Anyways, you get the point. Mumbling. Have you ever done this? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only anomaly. But let me tell you, man, I could mumble with the best of them. So much so that people would just be like, especially when I was little, they're like, I don't even know what came out of this child's mouth. The people that were actually bold enough would be like, sorry, what was that? What did you say? And after like the third or fourth time, they'd just be like, oh, isn't that great? This was a lot of my life. So here's the thing. I thought I had to talk fast. And that was the way that people would actually give you their attention and begin to listen to you. I quickly learned, this is in fact entirely the opposite. Some of the most amazing people, or some of the people that I thoroughly enjoyed listening to, all of these people had this thing in common. Now I can easily see it. They would speak slowly. Like, this is such a bad reference, but in The Office, when Jim is giving Dwight all of the advice on how to speak and he's like pounding the desk. I'll just cut to the clip really quick.
Blood alone moves the wheels of history.
It's obviously really exaggerated, but the truth is, I didn't know this, but there's so much power in pause, because it's allowing me to think, the individual to take in what you're communicating. Like, this is a basic 101 thing, but when you're me and you're a little 4, 5, 6, 7 and on year old, and my brain was on fire. My brain felt like you open a web browser and then you just start clicking new tab. This is kind of fun. New tab. And I'm meanwhile trying to finish the other thought. Every thought is a tab. And then pretty soon it's like, new tab. Oh, no. Then new tab, new tab, new tab, new tab. That's what's happening in my brain. Taking a step back, looking at this little 5-year-old, just going crazy because this guy is the bottleneck. I just can't talk fast enough. Later on in life, I begin to believe these stupid lies, just straight up from hell, about my identity, who I was, because no one wanted to listen, or all these things I started to believe about myself. And the irony, it was a cycle. God gave me this ability to communicate, and I believe the attempt in my life was to try to get this beautiful thing that God created from the beginning with this amazing intent, and to try to pervert it and twist it and then insert the lies, so that I would start to believe like, you're stupid, you're not good enough. No one wants to hear anything you have to say. You don't know what you're saying. Over and over and over, year after year, for most of my life. One, I didn't even recognize that I was mumbling. It wasn't until, I think the first time I really noticed it was when I was recording some friends at a basketball team or something, and I could hear myself talking, and I played it back, and everything in me just wanted to die, because for the first time I realized, oh my gosh, no wonder people can't understand me. And then, of course, I was hiding it. Didn't go to my parents because so what about mumbling? It's so not a big deal. But this, I'm using mumbling as an example, but everyone can relate to some extent about this thing in your life that you believed. And of course, as I've gotten older, I've realized the beauty of listening, how profound it is to actually be able to listen and intake instead of just output all the time. And man, there's so much less that actually needs to be said. What I've learned, talking fast actually does most of the time the opposite. But as I've realized, I can actually talk slower, use less words, Instead of saying and like, pause, give my brain a second to think and articulate what it is that's in my heart. This has begun to change my world because filler words are getting less and less and less. Communication, connection with people is getting richer and richer. And I'm finally being able to step into what's always been here the whole time and get it out in a way that's understandable, clear and concise, relatively speaking, and what's actually going on inside of my heart. And in turn, people begin to listen, give me space to communicate, and I've been able to do the same. Obviously, it goes without saying I've nowhere near mastered this, but it's so cool to realize because there's so much that was attached to this, and most of it was my identity, who I am, all the opposite of who God says I am, who I actually am. I've come to the conclusion of it's okay to go slow. I trust that what needs to be there will be there when I need to say it. And it's also okay that if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. I've learned talking slow is okay. Sharing your thoughts and pauses, good. And if you don't get to it, you can always send a message, write it down. So with that, that's the end of my thought, and I don't honestly know how to end this. Until next time, y'all, peace.